Evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Yes, it's me, Daddy Dragon. Can anyone actually see me and hear me? It'd be very helpful. I am rather tired, but I thought I'd give you an update. It may not necessarily be a long show, but there are some important things. I'm now drinking my hot chocolate. Uh, 5B5, Steve Whitaker, evening all. Tracy Tourism, good evening. Not sure how many people are going to tune in tonight because obviously some people are still travelling and they will be pretty tired. What's that eye there? That's the other eye. That eye looks all funny, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks red again.
That one's all right, and that one looks a bit strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, never mind. Good evening, DD and Eric Tornbrook too. Denzel, good evening. Susan, right, hello Susan, how you doing? Hiya DD and Patriots. Good evening, ladies and gents. So the first thing to say to everyone, and I don't think I'm just saying it for myself, it's for everyone who attended. It was a fantastic weekend because everyone one got on with each other. There was no problems there. The Dunes complex and Paddy and his wife, by the way. It's the first time I've met Paddy's wife, right? And she is a really, really lovely lady. You know when you just get a sense of someone who is completely full of energy, right? And just like a dynamo. She's one of them dynamo people and doesn't stop. She just, from when she's up in the morning all the way through and then right to late at night. And Paddy, on Sunday evening, I believe a couple of our members kept him up until, kept the building and him in there until 12 midnight. I think they normally shut about 10, right? And in the end, Paddy said, "Listen, I've had enough. You're going home." Like we'd already gone earlier, but we had a big long drive in the morning. But it was a really cracking event. The first day was the English Constitution Party, and we sort of talked about the political element. We took some votes, which were really important, that we've got recorded. And they are recorded on camera. So everything in terms of some really, really important stuff in terms of voting has been done. I'm just looking at some other messages I've got coming through at the moment. Then the Sunday was more about slavery, a bit more chilled out. It's not political. It's not charged with anything. And again, the political party side of it, I've sort of explained to people, and I tried, and I do try. I mean, when I say I get some our members are like family to us, right? So when you got people like Durf and Lord Pett and others that joined us, have got the same passion of us, and you used to see them in the audience. You used to see them attending every event, and then they're not there anymore. They passed away. So there's a promise to them, right? And they're part of us. Their spirit is still in this, right? And it's the same as what we are. And it's one of the reasons why I spoke the next day about setting up the English Constitution Society as a trust, right? So very similar to the Hamlin Lectures, which is a trust. And the reason it was set up was to teach people about English common law, about, in effect, our constitutional laws, but it was teaching lay people, right? It was never targeted. The Hamlin Lectures was not targeted at legal professionals. In fact, if legal professionals was in the audience, my understanding is they're asked to leave because it's not for them, right? It's for us. And that's exactly what we're doing. There's two different aspects. of the Constitution. One is the state and one is the subject of the realm. So we went through all of that and discussed it, and we made some important voting decisions, because you're the people who do this. This is not just about me, right? I think people fully understand that. If I drop dead tomorrow, other people have to come in and start moving and shaking to keep it all going forward. And I believe it will. I think there's enough of us now. But you don't need hundreds of thousands of people. You need a core element that pushes this forward. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So again, I think I should show you. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, but one. So before we go any further, I hopefully, I think he'll be all right with this. I just want to show. In fact, let me ask him. Let me ask him and see he's all right with it. Oh no. Let me have a look. Let me have Mr. I ain't got him there. I don't think I should show that video until I get his permission. If the video's in our group, but basically, we on the way back from Mablethorpe, we're sort of driving past Leicester. So we took a detour and popped into John Godley Harding, right? Who wasn't expecting us. And we had a rap on the door. And he's opened the door. He went, Dee Dee. I went, yeah. I said, this is Janet, right? Mummy Dragon. So he said, come in. Right. So we sat down. We had a chat. I said, John, we're not staying long. We've only popped in. I can't drive past your house and not pop in and say hello. And you was missed at the event, right? But just to let you know, we was all thinking about you. I mentioned you, and we was having conversations, and he said, "Oh, thanks for that," and all that. So he hasn't been very well either, and remember, he is in his 80s, right? So I'm generally more gentle with people in their 80s, right? So we popped in and then stayed there for about 30 minutes and then come. So that's why it's took me a little bit longer, because we've got here probably 10 minutes spare, but then we ain't got a parking space, so we've had to walk all the way back. And then when I originally set up, it's gone out on this other channel, and I've had to try and change what it's doing. But something's really important. My throat is itching badly. It's either pollen.
Your eye and your throat. Your eyes and your throat.
Yeah, no, something's triggering it.
Might have been the dog.
It might have been a dog. Let me have a quick look. So first of all, it's to just say that. Can everyone see and hear me? And am I going out on all platforms or just this platform? Gooner Mum. Oh yeah, Neil 56. Neil 56 was there. Lots of people. I'm not going to be able to give everyone a shout out. Again, I end up not remembering all the names, etc. But there was two. There was a massive other event today. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I am gonna shout this out. I'm not sure where I got it from, but oh no, I can't play that. Let me go back to something else. Let me get rid of that. Get rid of that one. Let me have a quick look. Someone, wasn't that one? Who was it who sent me the thing? Oh, no, that one there. You're gonna have I am going to show this because I thought it was fantastic. Right, so I'm not sure if you're aware. Some of this is going to come out anyway, but there was a guy got arrested, charged, and he's a veteran, and he wasn't tolerant. He got arrested. Let me make sure I've got the story with this right, and I'll show you. I don't want to go into too much of a waffle, but I'll let you. He went for a jury trial. He got arrested. He went for a full jury trial, and the jury have come back with a not guilty, right? But I just want to show you this because he actually did go for a jury trial and he represented himself. So I'll let him tell you what happened. Good evening, sir. I wanted to go to this. This was only up the road in Swindon, but we had our seminar and like this weekend, literally. So the juries only returned. I think they retired on Friday. I think. I couldn't make that mind up, and then they carried on deliberating today, right? But hopefully you can hear this. Tell me if you can hear it. Good evening, sirs, ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen. Dale Vincent v. Rex for a... Good evening. I can't hear that. What is the problem with that? Oh, let me have a look. Let me stop sharing a second. And let me see if I have unmute tab. Right, let me see if I've muted that tab. Don't forget I'm tired and I've just jumped back on a laptop. So I don't know if this is going to work. Are you ready? Let's see if this works. What's that? Put that on there. Tell me if you can hear this. Good evening, sirs, ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen. Dale Vincent v. Rex for assaulting PC Constable 693 of Avon and Somerset Constabulary. Not guilty! There will be... Okay, thank you. There will be updates shortly, sirs, ma'ams. I love you all. Thank you all for your support, you guys at home. I fucking love you all. Let's fucking go! So he's obviously chuffed to bits. And that's an understatement, right? But I had a couple of people in the background talking to me about this. He'd done all his own case, right? So, and he presented his own case in his own defence to the jury, right? And he's received a not guilty. What I'm trying to say to people out there is the jury is crucially important. If you understand that area of law and put it forward, but the jury have come back, obviously, in his favour, and that's one reason why they want to get rid of juries, right? If that had gone to a tribunal, in other words, without a jury, he would be in the shit, because all that judge is going to do is tick the box and put you away. So that was the first thing. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? There's something else important that happened today.
John Arden, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went into John on the way back. There's some other things that have happened. I'm tired. I'm just literally checking in to make sure. Right, so we had it. One of our members is an audio and video specialist and does events, etc. Brought a load of equipment, recorded everything professionally on one camera. You've got my camera as a backup, which I've got to download and then send over to him. And then we're going to create the proper video element of the two separate events. So you'll have the English Constitution Party and the English Constitution Society. One is a seminar for the society, and the other one is literally taking votes on certain aspects. And we explain things. There is a core that goes through both, which is the English Constitution. And we explained all that. There was lots of people there on the Saturday. Some people couldn't stay for the Sunday, and then other people turned up for the Sunday. It was all mix and match, but there's lots of different faces, which I'm always pleased. But I do want to give again, I know I started at the beginning, but a massive shout out to Paddy, because it is always a worry with these events when you put time, effort, and more importantly, donations that come in and pay for petrol, pay for bed and breakfast, and you do all this thing, and the venue cancels because you're talking about England. And it has happened to us at least 4 times. Just because we're English and we're speaking about the English Constitution, it happened in Epping, right? And then when we transferred emergency to another venue, the person running that venue was South African. And then when they started to listen, they didn't like us talking about England, right? I just want people to understand. And then it happened in Sussex. It's happened at a number of events where there is pure persecution of the English people, right? And what I'm telling you is that the Dunes complex, Paddy is one of us. He knew, right, and he owns it all. He runs it all. His staff are fantastic. It's right on the beach, and it's one of the most pleasant beaches outside of Spain I have seen. Right, you could argue if you went to places like Cork in Southern Ireland, you've got beaches that are just as gorgeous. But that beach is wonderful. The complex is lovely. It's a proper working class holiday resort. It's not expensive to stay there, and I just think, but the venue makes it because everyone is chilled out. No one's worried about being kicked out. By the way, every one of ours was well behaved. We joined in with a bingo and some funny card game, which I couldn't work out what they was doing. Right, it was just fantastic, and again to see people and speak to people. Q Gardens was there. Ray was there with his wife. First time I've met the wife. Mark EP70 was there. Val won the Patriot of the Year award, and she was really shocked. I don't know why she was shocked that she got the award, right? And then I started to speak about to give her the award. I said, "Yeah, you got to remember this is a political party." And when I start, someone who has to deal with me, not just the electoral commission, and I think I'm worse to deal with. Val puts up with so much, especially if I'm stressed, and she rings me up asking for receipts, asking me for this, and I hate admin, right? And then the electoral commission are playing up in the background, right? Oh yeah, the electoral commission are playing up in the background. Val rings me from work. She's got me on speaker talking to me, trying to stuff that in her own office with other people around her, and I start effing and blinding. Right, she's trying to take it off the speaker, right? But she knows me, right, and she knows I get stressed, and she gets stressed as well. And she's had a lot of recent stress, which I won't go into. And then when she comes off the phone, the people are sort of looking at her. He was rather annoyed, wasn't he? I'm not having a go at Val, by the way. I'm having a go at the system. I'm having a go at the electoral commission, and Val has to put up with that, right? Well, she doesn't have to. She does because she's a patriot, and she knows that I'm not having a go at her. I'm just frustrated at the whole event that has happened. Anyway, cut a long story short, Val got the Patriot of the Year award. So everyone put an English flag out there for Val, who got the and Spooky Bubble was there as well. Wilnut. Who else was there? Archernot. Archernot was there. I've been watching with the sound off. Mum was on the phone, so I only saw the clip about the soldier. Oh, okay. Well, basically, we're just giving a shout out to that event. Anyone that wants a big event there, anyone who wants a big wedding there, I'm taking it. Paddy does weddings there. It is actually a theatre at the back. It's got its own bar. It's got a stage. It's even got dressing rooms for people. If you've got bands or anything, it's got its own sound system. It's got the lighting system. it is a professional setup, right? And again, we've gone down there and done as much as we can. To anyone watching this who don't know me, I never ever do what are they called? You know, the presentations where I forget what Microsoft presentations, and it's not. I'm not presenting to you to be
bullet points.
bullet point stuff coming up on the screen. We used it a couple of times just to show people and we just pull in our banners, show people the books, and start talking about our constitution and history of England, right? And the audience was fantastic, right? And again, 2 days. I mean, Janet made a comment that she said, "I don't know how you just keep going, get up the next day and do it and crack on again, and then keep going." Well, I can talk about England for 18 hours non-stop, and it energizes me, and I'll come back the next day. This type of thing makes me feel much better when we're all together. There was a guy, Rick, I think his name was, that he's a Yorkshireman, and for various reasons, I won't go into personal details, he then moved out to Spain. But he said, I always thought I was on my own when I talked about England. And he said, then I found you, right? And he said, I had to fly back just for a day, stayed in Yorkshire, come there because I wanted to meet you and I wanted to make sure that you understood you are an inspiration. And I've flown back for that. There's other people that flew in. I won't say too much, but there's someone in. The reason I won't say it is because some people don't want to know that they've flown in for that. But there was plenty of people that come from local and from all over the country, and literally travelled hours, booked up, stayed there. I think most people appreciated the accommodation was quite nice, friendly, no grief, really lovely people. There was lots of Londoners there. There was lots of Midlands people in there, and I'm giggling because I'm thinking about James and Dave, right? Who are like the terrible twins, Brummies, like proper funny, with a gorgeous little, what's his dog called? Chihuahua, like some woolly Chihuahua, would he? and he goes battle his coat, right? Most gorgeous dog you've ever met, and he is the loveliest dog. And I've got to tell you something, it's I would describe it as a bird puller. Because he walks in with a dog, and all the women come up and go, "Oh, look!" And he starts talking to him. Yeah, look at my dog. Right, he is hilarious, right, Dave? And James is quite as funny. 600 miles plus, yeah. Higher. Well, what question to start? What's that? Wait on, Rebecca Hicks. Well, what a question to start. He lets you make up your own mind. Let me have a look. So, English. The other thing about Mablethorpe, did everyone notice who went there? What were the flags that were everywhere? There was flags on every other lamppost, and in some places, every lamppost, even the shops, even the local pubs, everywhere was flying a particular flag. And what flag was it? Put it in the chat. The flag that was flying. It's fairly obvious to most people who was there, but we all commented, and the businesses got together and paid for them flags and put them flags up there. Right? What were they? They was all in there. Let's see if I can see it. Where's my pen? I'll make some notes as I go through this because I don't want that one. I'll be on that. I don't want it to go through onto that book. Right. There's one in there. Look, in there. Have you ever seen a woman go through a massive, great big bag when there's a bowl on the mantelpiece full of pens, right? Instead, they decide they want to hunt through a massive, great big handbag for a pen when they're on the shelf. Thank you, darling. Merci beaucoup and all that. Right. Whose fault is it?
It's my fault.
It's
Babe.
your fault, bud. That's what I mean. Our name's It's My Fault. Everyone's laughing. So we've got a great relationship. Whose fault is it, Janet? It's my fault. There you go. See what I mean? Can't go wrong, can you? No arguments. It's your fault. So there was a few things. And I'm seeing all the flags come up. There was flags, English flags everywhere. I don't know what the black flag's coming up there. If you go into the little thing, if you're a member, you should get access to that. Eugene and I was up there. Martin was up there. Archie was up there. Who else? Anyone else I mentioned? There was so many. It was unreal, and people popping up. There were.
EP7E Ace Jace.
Who?
EP7E Ace Jace.
Yeah, no, EP7E. See, this is a bit that I hate because I have to try and remember all the names and all the people. And the thing is, I see the faces and then I'm trying to come back with all the names of all the people. Obviously, Neil 56 was up there. Who was the other one? Is it Bri 54 was up there. Let me have a look. Jason 690. Who's that one? Spooky boat. Janet bought me a drink. Janet bought me a drink. Did you?
I did, yes.
Oh, very good. Black flags. St George's show won't let the England flag show. No, but it does on Rumble. If I showed you on Rumble, they allowed us to do it. 14 skin. 14 skin was there. Again, just want to make sure. So Kenny was there, and Kenny, I was grateful that he was there, but I'm talking to a million people at the same time, as everyone should understand. This is what you really want. I think my membership is up for renewal now, Slimming. We're going to have to try and reset all this stuff up, and that's part of the discussions that we're going to have going forward. We will release the video and show on. Adrian and Steve Lomas. So, Adrian was there. Adrian, I'm going to show you this again, right? Sorry, Adrian, right? You know I love you, right? I actually really do respect and like Adrian, right? But I am just going to rub salt in the wounds here a bit more and show you this again, right? This man on the screen was arrested for a complete and utter load of bullshit, right? And he fought it. He asked for a jury trial. I think he had a week-long jury trial. I'm not sure how long it was. Someone will have to tell me how long it was. And the jury deliberated, I think, for 2 days, or partly this morning. And here's the point. This is his result. If I remember rightly, this was to do with COVID.
Good evening, sirs, ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen. Dale Vincent v. Rex for assaulting PC Constable 693 of Avon and Somerset Constabulary. Not guilty! There will be... Okay, thank you. There will be updates shortly, sirs, ma'ams. I love you all. Thank you all for your support, you guys at home. I fucking love you all. Let's fucking go!
Right, now they're going for a beer. Right, so all I'm saying is he went in front of a jury, right? And he stood up and presented his own case, right? So everyone should understand that. Now, the other thing is we went through some items and elements. Graham, I posted above that he was active during lockdown. He arrested a police officer at Bath University. Ah, right, okay. Jason 6090, awesome. The Constitution in action. And again, they're trying to eliminate jury trials. So all these other people are there. Now, the other person who was there and attended and drove miles to get there, slept in his van because he didn't have anywhere to go on the first night he got there. and he was with us all day the next day. And then I started talking about what he did, how he's fought, how he's never surrendered is Charlie Staple, right? And then we showed a couple of little clips of what went on with him and how he has never surrendered and still pushing it forward, and not just fighting him for himself, but fighting for you as well. He got a unanimous not guilty, defended himself after a 5-day jury trial. He got a unanimous not guilty, as I said. The judge literally wasn't very happy with the police. We then took it further, which was Criminal Justice Act 1988, Section 134, torture. That went all through the system and appealed. That's ready to go to the US. If this tort element fails, we will be pushing that over to the US. But the tort, and again, so this time he's in front of a jury again, December the 7th for a 7-day trial, minimum 7 to 10 day trial, where he is personally suing each individual police constable, right, including the sergeant, because they're all police constables, and they are personally liable for what they did to him, and the Metropolitan Police Commissioner in London, right, in front of a jury, where they will see and hear exactly what they did to him, and lied to then prosecute him for assaulting them when it is clear from the evidence he did not assault them. It is clear from the jury trial that the jury found him unanimously not guilty and actually considered torture, because for the first time in England, torture as a defence was put to the jury. In other words, if you believe torture or unlawful violence has been used against Charlie Staple, you must find him not guilty. And that's what the judge, exactly what the judge put to them, right? So we're just going to make sure everyone understands that. And there's no big wig barristers, there's no King's counsels backing up Charlie. It's us, right? And his own courage to say, I will not surrender my rights as an Englishman to you, right? The British system. So he's pushing it forward. So again, I don't normally do this, but I did ask Charlie to stand up and make himself known. And then he stood up in the audience, and everyone gave him a massive applause because we showed what happened to him, and everyone was going, "Wow, you know, now I can see what's gone on." Do you know what I mean? So again, it's not finished; it is going forward. Considering that Dale Vincent has been found guilty, he can now make an application under tort to personally sue the police. And there are certain other things. If it, I don't know what the exact verdict was, whether it was a majority verdict or whether it was a unanimous verdict. But the verdict is not guilty, whatever happens. Ace Jace is out there, Taffy Pat. So the other thing I want to speak about, which I'm really grateful for, is let me just make sure I've got this out there because I want to show people it. Is Simon Lacey give me a number of gifts. One of them was 3 books, this is one of them. As you can see it, the Selden Society, the reports from the notebooks of Edward Coke. And that one's there, volume 1, 1601 to 1604. There's 3 volumes, so there's one volume. Just want to make sure you actually understand what this is. I'm not sure if I can actually bring this up properly. If not, I'll have to bring it over a bit further, but I'll try and bring it over so people can see it. Let's see if I can bring that over. Why? And the strangest possible thing is, I've got them out of the car to bring them in, and Janet has said to me, I put them on. I said, why did you do that? I wouldn't want to get. I said, you do realise if I hadn't been rushing back, I would have been pulling into lay-bys, reading these in the lay-bys. And she went, I have no doubt you probably would. Right? I said, no, there's no probably about it, right? So just to make sure everyone understands that, let me go back to my camera settings, because people will look at these. Touch wood, it'll work. There it is. Reports from the notebooks of Edward Coke. This one's volume 1, 1601 to 1604. Edited for the Selden Society, Sir John Baker, King's Council, LLD, and FBA, and he's an honorary barrister as such. And there's all of the cases under common law that you would ever want, and references to it are in that book. And I just wanted to show you something else which is quite important on this. Hopefully I can zoom in or do something with this. I'm not sure if you can see it at the top there. If you go down to Beadwell, let me see if I can show you it there on a pen. See it? Beadwell versus Moore, Moore, 1588, and then you go along and it talks about that case. Just to give you an indication, because I see someone else speaking about this. Darren of Plymouth was talking about his last name and the fact that his name meant something and it was historic and it went back through England. So does my name, Moore. It is a historically English name, right? And there's many other cases in there, but if you look in this, and I won't mark the book, there is another case there, which you'll see. The Dr. Bonham case is in this 1638. There's many of these cases. So you've got Bellamy versus Fish at 1605, and all of the cases where he was writing things down and he was in there and he was studying the cases, a bit like what we're doing. There's another really famous case, which is the one at the bottom there. Not sure if you can actually see it. I've spoken about it quite a bit. Calvin's case, 1608, 1620. Right. So I went to 1620 of this document, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because Simon Lacey gave me these as a gift, right? And I don't think people really appreciate how much this meant to me to get these as a gift, because this, when you go through these old cases, this is literally still law in this country, right? So again, this particular one was about aliens. When I say aliens, I don't mean the funny type that get off a spaceship. I mean aliens as in non-English, right? And I do mean non-English. So a question was moved. I'm not sure, because of this, I can't actually. Let me see if I can get to this and put it in a different way. Let me pull that in, bring that page down. I apologise. I've only got a tiny bit of space here. So what I'm going to do is bring that down, and hopefully you can see what I'm reading. Hopefully you can see that. If not, listen. This is literally they come back off seminar and say, right, I want to get stuck into these books, right? So there it is, a question. Let me make sure I've pulled that in and over. Hang on, let's get it over there again. Right, can you all see that? Give me a 5v5 if you can see that properly, and tell me if you can hear it. Right. The question was moved whether those who were born in Scotland since the death of Queen Elizabeth are natural subjects of the King of England and are able to purchase and to sue in England like other subjects born in England. Remember yesterday I was talking about the difference between a citizen and a subject. Born in England or are aliens. It was objected that they were aliens for various reasons. First, because there are two different kingdoms. And even though there is one king of both, the kingdoms nevertheless remain several, for quando juro concurrent in uno persona aquim est a si assenti in diverse. Secondly, the king came to both by right of descent, and therefore, right, and it goes over. So let me go back to this. I'm just going to read you this bit out because it's really important, and it touches on why it is that the literally why it is. You know, I've got to pull this up again. I apologise for this. Let's see if I can get that up. Right. Why it is so important. So this is going back. Hang on. Part of it is in Latin, and part of it is in English. Right. So they translate it in the book. Let me push that forward like that. Can you all see this? I apologise. I'm a bit tired, so I'm trying to work out what I'm doing after having a few days off. The ancient laws and customs of both remain, and neither is the subjection to the other, as Ireland now is, which came to the crown of England by conquest and is in subjection to the crown of England. If there are any failure of justice in Ireland, as if the superior court errors there, it shall be redressed in England. And our parliaments here, by express words, can bind those of Ireland. But it is otherwise of Scotland, for that is not the subjection to the crown of England. Likewise of Gascony, Guineas, Poitiers, Calais, Tournai, and such like, which were in subjection to of the crown of England, for the Parliament will bind them. And the King's writ, right? So you've got gold and you've got habeas corpus there, etc. Right? But when you go through all of this, and there's a lot more, this case is really important because what they actually tell you is that a Scot under the same crown has the same rights as an Englishman, and vice versa, and the Englishman has the same rights as a Scot in Scotland under the same crown. So what he referenced is the joining of the crowns in 1603, and this is the case where he actually starts to talk about why it is we in effect have a common law union, right? So you already had a union. You did not need a statutory union. It was brought in for a different reason, right? And it was because Scotland had bankrupted itself. And because of that, we are now suffering the consequence, meaning the English, because we brought in to this country statutorily into our parliament Roman law. And that is the cancer. It is administrative law. And many people, and again, I've read it recently in one of the books, it spelled out the fact. So I've often said that Admiralty law is an extension of the common law, but just at sea. What the old law books tell me is Admiralty law is Roman law, right? Because on a ship and other elements that happen at sea and for sea, it is Roman law because it is often it's a tribunal or a single judge, and on a ship the captain is the sole judge, and on shore it is the Admiralty Court that deals with anything that happens at sea. So it is the Roman law and not a jury system, right? Well, what they did in effect by bringing Scotland statutorily into England was introduce Roman law into an English parliament, which started to destroy England. And there was a particular reason why they did that. As I tried to emphasise over the weekend, what a lot of people in Scotland, Protestants, are unwittingly unionists because they believe that the union is Protestant. It is the reverse. The union was actually the Roman Catholic and particularly the Jesuits, trying to remove the Protestant settlement of 1688. And it's one of the reasons why the Act of Settlement of 1701 was introduced, was to stop any further damage. And then one way that they worked out how they could start to remove the rights of Protestants, in particular, was to create a British Parliament with administrative law attached. Right, that's basically in a nutshell. It's a lot more detailed than that, but does everyone understand that? So, to Simon Lacey, I am extremely grateful for this book, and I'm actually gonna put a marker in there because I need to go and read through that. But I've again started looking up the cases that I need to look up, and I'm just giving you an indication. And what I'm going to do now is go back to my new, and then we're going to carry on talking about the other things, but just to make sure you understand what that is. Selden Society, there's 3 volumes, and it's just about Edward Coke. He was the Chief Justice of the Common Pleas, right? He absolutely understood common law. There was another case, and it is in here, right? I've just got to go and find it, where he talks about legal fictions, right? And I will explain that. And legal fictions are being misrepresented by certain groups of people. And it's one of the things that John Harris actually said on a video where he told people that he had misrepresented what the law was. He had misrepresented, and he said he regrets it because lots of people are now committing crimes and holding up their birth certificate and screaming legal fiction when they've committed the crimes. And he's unwittingly pulled all of that out, and he didn't want to. And he said it's what they're doing, and then people are wrong, right? And they are wrong. And he believed that he was partly responsible for that, and I've no doubt that's why he committed suicide. Not long after that interview. Let me have a look. It was lovely to see you again last weekend. You're amazing. Stranger Life 420. It was after Henry VIII Brexit from Rome, we ruled the waves. Hence, infiltrated was a coup. Yeah. Basically, Scotland coming into the English Parliament with Roman law was a Trojan horse. That's how people should see it. I'm not talking about everyday Scots, right? It's nothing. It's none of our business how they run Scotland, right? And the union should end, right? You can put a border up because it's completely different legal jurisdiction. Put a border up and let them deal with it. And I believe the Scots will say, "I tell you what, we want a common law jurisdiction. We will govern ourselves, but we don't want this Roman law either, right?" That's only my personal opinion. That's not me instructing what they should do. But anyone with a brain knows that the common law jurisdiction is the number one best social justice system in the world. So again, I'm very, very, very grateful to Simon Lacey. I'm also very grateful because not only did he buy me a gift, or not buy me a gift, but he's given me these and other bits and pieces that Simon Lacey gave me, because this is just what a nice fella he is, right? He said, because you're a twin, you can't give one without the other. So he bought my twin sister a gift as well and said, "This is for your sister." Right, so it was as a birthday present, and he hasn't seen me, so he said, I'll give you both a birthday present. So again, we want a round of applause for Simon Lacey for being such a nice fella.
And he bought me a present as well.
You what?
Bought me a present as well.
He bought you a present as well?
Yeah, Simon did.
What did he buy you?
Them key rings.
Simon, stop buying her presents, will you? Don't spoiler, right? What?
He bought me the Peterloo key ring and the other one.
Oh yeah. So and Simon also bought Janet the Peterloo, the reverse of the front and back of the Peterloo key ring, which was nice of him, wasn't it? Right.
Really nice.
Well, I'm gonna let Janet off today. And stop taking the piss out of her. She said 3 days of me taking the piss out of us, right, non-stop. And she did, like, we just sit in the car laughing. You would not believe some of the things I come out with in the car. Let's have taffy, but that was not. No, that is nice. But again, I want to say to everyone, like we're like one big family. We're the nice guys. We're not the bad guys. And again, what we're putting out there and showing people is real law. I mean, there was lots of people there. I said, have you ever seen one of these seminars? Every one of them's different. I don't do, a PowerPoint presentation on law, so it's boring. What I do is go through the basics, and then we'll talk about 2 or 3 different subjects of English law, and then give some history or historical facts around it that can all be checked. One was a right to keep and bear arms, and the other one we did was on slavery, and then showed the books that they can go and get, even if they spent week and a half, 2 weeks just reading 5 books, like buying 5 books and reading them. They would know, right, that the English were the ones who freed the slaves, not the British. They would know the reality and the truth that it was an English white working class tradesman, basically a tailor, that stopped slavery, not the British. That the British tried consecutively for 20 years. They did not want to allow the Abolition Act. And then when you start talking through it and explain what they did and who was involved, it's fantastic. There was some young people there, right? Well switched on. When I say young, I'm not sure one of them, was he 16 or 17?
Something like that, yeah.
16 or 17. Completely switched on, right? There was some other young fella, he was a local lad. There were some other fellas there from Hull, young lads, and they come along to see me and watch what was going on. And I wish I could have spent more time with them. But don't forget, we had 2 events going on, one on a Saturday and one on a Sunday, both at the Jones Complex. But again, I can't emphasise enough how grateful we are to Paddy and his wife for allowing us to put that on there, because at least you can relax that you know it's not going to be shut down and it is going to be professional, and there's separate entrances and you can check who's coming in, who's coming out, etc. So just to make sure everyone understands that. Anyone got any questions on that? Because I'm not going to be going on for much longer. There's many other things I want to talk about. There's some other events that have happened that I did want to talk about, but I've got to be honest with you, I'm quite knackered. Let's see, Spooky Bag, Keck Rangel, are you not a motorcyclist? What's that? Confused. I have been really conflict with my back garden. My own YouTube here, right? Juicy and Lucy, Gooner Mum. So it was fantastic, and there is going to be quite a bit going on. Graham, I think we're the only country that uses English measurements, pre-imperial measurements of 1824, known as the Winchester Standards. Of 1824, known as the Winchester Standards. Probably. The only time America changed the measurements, but not the actual measurements. We had a standard. I can't think what it was now. I think it was 8'6" or something like that for standard for railway tracks all over the world, and America changed it to wider than that, but only because it was bigger and they had more space, and they didn't do much else but change that. Let me have a look and make sure I've got everything up here. I'm getting some pings coming through, which means I need to mute that channel again. Let me mute WhatsApp. Mute tab. Right. Let's see if anyone else has come up with stuff. Father. Yeah, there's a load of stuff going on here. Right, let's see. Anyone else? Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. I'm just having a look to see what this stuff is. Let me have a look at that one. Lionheart 4444 was there also. Who was the other one who was there? Saxon. He's the guy who flew in, by the way. Saxon something. Was it Ancient Saxon or something like that? Listen, getting all these online names and the other names mixed up. Moving Lionheart, Archanaut, Luna, Balluna, Spooky Bubba are all there. All right. Wyvern, Lionheart, Archanaut, Luna, Balluna. Is that what I mean about these names? But Spooky Bubba were all there. Nigel Bontoff, 37. There's Peterloo Memorial, Manchester, where they depicted the English as black people. What? That is mad. Let me have a look. Oh, yeah, there's another one here. Oh, that's a good photo. I'm getting some people are sending me photos. David Prue was there. Right, so David was there. There's another person from Nottingham. He come along with his daughter. We had a starfish. I was going to eat it, but she wouldn't let me. Right. Let me have a look and see if I can show you that image. Let's see if I can show you that image on the screen. See if I can bring that up. There's the image of me discussing it. That was on the second day. So there's me holding a book, A Kingdom Without a King. That's one of the books we was talking about. And again, we had the sound. Hopefully everyone heard the sound all right. Everyone hear the sound all right when it was there? What did they think of the sound quality? Let's see what else is up there. The Faithful, I thought it was fantastic. And I also saw something else out. When people were speaking and asking the questions where I can't hear them, I was standing behind the speakers. So then I went and stood in front of the speakers and I could hear their question perfectly. And people was like, how come you can hear me now? Because I'm standing in front of the speaker and it's right in my ear hole. It was excellent. So we sussed that one out. They're doing it with everyone else. Been putting. Yeah, well, they've got to go for jury trials. Who else was there? Well, I haven't got any other information in there at the moment. Let's have a look. Send me a copy for the website. Yeah, I'll send you that over. There's some more photos, I think. Some people start. Oh, there's some more photos there. This is where I'm wearing two marks on me, which is sort of sport to look at the soap, but it didn't really matter too much. Let me see if I can put these on there. Here you go. Right, so there's me having a chin wag, and we've got some other bits on there and all that stuff in the background. And by the way, if you can see this, I'll just tell you the story about this. That I got from an antique shop, and you see that copper pendant. The copper pendant is a pendant that was approved, and on the back of it, it's got the king's head, and the front describes what it is commemorating. And it commemorates Trafalgar, the Battle of Trafalgar, and the copper was authorised. They removed the copper in the hull of HMS Victory. So that pendant is actually part of HMS Victory, and it is a commemorative medal celebrating the victory, and that particular silver watch chain has had, they was manufactured like that. That is over 100. It's obviously an antique, or bought it from an antique shop. But the people didn't know what the pendant was for. Well, I cleaned up the pendant and then started researching it, and that's an original, right? So it literally is the copper from the hull of HMS Victory, and it was especially authorised by, if I'm right in saying this, Edward VII. I haven't got it in front of me, but it was Edward VII that authorised it. And there it is. And then a gentleman gave me one of these pendants with a little hook on the top that clamped my Jesus coin, and that it went on one end of the chain, and on the other end we had a St. Christopher. And then what you can see there on the image, as you will see, is Charlie Staple. The police have denied that they tried to suffocate him. And on your screen, this was all, we was discussing this and discussing his case. So it's there. Let me make sure everyone saw that. There's another one there, which is, again, us being muted. There is us giving out the award. So that award is the English Constitution Party. It is a specially made plaque that is given once a year as a Patriot of the Year award, and it was given to Valerie. So there's me on the stage again, and this is me just about to tell Val. And by the way, that is, let me zoom in, that is the suit that come from the Joker win, and also I had that made so when I represent you at events or interviews, etc., I'm representing you. So again, and there is Val on the screen. She was a little bit surprised by it. So there you go. There I am talking about that, and then we go all the way through. There's a few other images up there. There's on the stage, and on the left we got I speak English, not British. People again stopped me in a car because I've got it on the back of my car, and then on the right there we're muted. So I want to explain to people one thing that you should understand. The government are paying some of these influencers, and those influencers that are being paid will not, just like the BBC, ITV and all that, will not have anyone coming on there talking about England, right? And especially about avoiding the union. It is a form of censorship, or it is actually censorship, and England is being destroyed. But I think it will eventually come out who these people are. So again, let me see if we go any further. That's it, I think. I don't think there's anything else on. I'll stop showing that one. What I am going to try and do is go back to something else, because we brought this up. Let's have a look and see if anyone has come on there. What's going on with that one? Hopefully none of that's in there. No, right, so I'm going back. I want to go and check something, because someone put something out earlier. I wanted to bring it up. That was the one, I think. That is it. I did briefly mention this, maybe later. I briefly mentioned this. My sister, twin sister, sent me this on the morning when it first come out, and basically said she thought this was disgusting, right? and I mentioned it, and there's a few people now talking about it online, but we brought this up at the conference. What you can see is the BBC. You can see the English flag, and some people are saying, "Did you notice it's at half mast?" It's not really at half mast, but it's halfway down a pole. That part that's just clipped on, but it's what this was about. Now, just read what it says on the screen. The deeply contentious debate around what it means to be English. And why I mentioned it. Liberia, for example, which was created for slaves, their constitution actually states that you cannot be a Liberian citizen and have anything to do with power structures or MPs or any influence in Liberia unless you are a Negro. Our constitution doesn't say that. The English constitution does not say that. But you can see, and I've said it on many occasions, literally, that we are the people that are under attack, right? But a friendly dragon is waddling along the sun-drenched centre of Swindon, smiling at passers-by. It's not me, because I was in Mablethorpe, right? It's St George's Day, and the blow-up dragon is on hand, along with Swindon's town crier, to do a bit of PR on behalf of England. Mid-morning shoppers give the dragon, who was, of course, slain in the legend of, by England's patron saint, sympathetic looks, right? And I think there's something to be said for that, that a Roman Catholic, in effect, a Palestinian, slaughtered the English dragon. Faye Howard, the then mayor of Swindon, arranged the April parade because she felt the English could do more to celebrate the National Day. The mayor posed for pictures, and with shoppers in a mock picture frame decorated in the English national colours of red and white. But ahead of the May elections, there was no sign of the cross of St George's flag. I've been careful about using the flag this year because it is an election time and because I represent everybody in Swindon, and I want to be fair to everybody in Swindon. There you go. There, in a nutshell, is the dilemma around English identity. There shouldn't be any dilemma, right? A mayor seeking to bring her community together, but nervous that the nation's flag could be seen as diversive. Who's made it diversive? The Fabian Society, the Common Purpose, Marxists, and, crucially, the Conservative and Union Party. And that sensitivity comes at the perennial debate about English identity has taken on a harder edge since February last year. Influential figures on the right have provoked a highly contentious debate, saying that English identity cannot be acquired. It is, to them, related to an ancestry potentially dating back centuries. Not potentially, it does. And again, I've just shown my last name appearing in court records in 1588 or 48, and sensitivity come potentially dating back centuries. The striking moment, right? So the crisis, the English identity crisis, right? Now again, without me getting right into this particular thing, I'm just going to leave that on a screen. This is, in effect, the BBC. And one of the things I said at the seminar, we played a video, a particular video. It will come out. Hopefully, we're going to get it all professionally edited and put out. And there's some imaging from me as well, meaning my camera is operating. But this is what I want you to understand, right? It's really crucial you understand this. The 2011 census, for the first time ever, had English-only national identity. For the first time ever, English people could tick the box English-only national identity, and 57% of England did that. 32.4 million people, and if it was mixed with British, it was 67%. That British on its own as a national identity, half of which are foreigners, was 19%. That equated to just over 10 million. All right, so or 11 million. So 5.5 million of them people are complete and utter foreigners, right? And I think it's really important that anyone out there represent or pretending to represent restoration of Britain cannot be realist in restoration unless they speak of England. That's the reality. I'm seeing a handful in Restore speaking of England, but where I actually live, which is crucial to England, to our constitutional history, which is Devon, and in central Devon, the person, as I can see it, that hasn't communicated with me at all, is actually a Welshman. And if I was to stand in Wales, I wouldn't get elected. Even Keir Hardie, who's a Scot, couldn't get elected in Scotland. He came to London to get elected as an MP. And then when he lost his seat in East London, he went to Wales and got elected. Right? But in both instances, he was still representing Scotland. Well, there is no English representation in that British Parliament. And that was by design. And now you're seeing the attacks on English, including the fact that they have virtually disarmed us, even though it is a constitutional right to keep and bear arms for self-defense, and especially for a Protestant and a Christian, because we was persecuted then and we're being persecuted now. And what you're seeing and again, what we're doing is going all around the country explaining the English element to this. I asked a question of the audience. There was 2 questions, and I split the question for obvious reasons. But I said everything that I've shown you all the way across here is English law. There's no such thing as British law. Never has been. But these are all English constitutional rights and English common law rights. Nothing to do with Scotland whatsoever. But if you adopt the British Nationality Act's British identity, then you have no access to your English rights. That was by design because we lost the Second World War. So I asked the question of the audience: do you regard yourself as British? Put your hand up. Not one person put their hand up in that audience. And this is common outside of London. And then I said, how many of you regard yourself as English? And everyone put their hand up, including a Scot, right? Which I haven't got a problem with, right? Because he was culturally English, right? And again, if you understand what's going on with what they're doing to us, they are completely and utterly attacking England. And it's our job to promote England, to promote our constitution, and explain to people that the constitution exists. There's 2 elements to it: how the state functions and how the subjects and the state interact. And there needs to be a separation, and the subjects are protected. And the person who has overall control of that is the Crown, and representing the Crown are the judiciary. They are the lions under the throne, and they are failing us massively. So that is basically what happened. Again, I'm not going to waffle on too much because I am tired, and I'll be going to bed. And then tomorrow, I will try and set up another thing and have a chat with you. So is everyone happy with what I've said? I've tried to give you an update. It was very well received. It was well attended. There is another event going on up there shortly. I think next year, not next year, next month. And then we've got another event, or I'll be talking in Norfolk at the Freedom Festival in Thetford at the Angel Inn. I think that's on the 17th and 18th of August.
17th, 18th.
Huh?
Oh, I've got 17th, 18th, 19th in there.
Yeah, 17th, 18th and 19th of August. What else have I got in there? Anything?
Darren's been not going ahead, is it?
Who?
Darren.
No, it's not going. No, Darren's not going ahead now.
Western Superman.
No, let me have a quick look. I'm going to check before I jump off and do anything else. Why is that coming up now? Oh, right, yeah. Let me have a look. All right. When was that? I don't know when that was. Well, we had to shoot off. I don't know where he went, but we went anyway. Let me have a quick look and see if I can see anything. I can't see anything else. Oh, right. I don't know who that was. Who sent them then? Don't know who that was. No, but we are. I can't answer that question. Dave. There. Oh yeah, Gordon was there. Was a really lovely fellow. He come up as well. You can be culturally English. You just wouldn't be able to stand for election. Is the answer. That's it. I am off. Good night. God bless. And I will finally say,
Remember.
Don't forget. What? Did I have to say something else?
No.
Tell me what I was supposed to say.
He was looking at me. I thought he was waiting for me to say.
No. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. Saxy. Sax 17's out there. Neil 56 is out there. Timbrook 2's out there. Kew Gardens. Good night, God bless, and I'll see you all shortly. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Graham has said many times Britain is the island. It is an island. That's it. And what we've got to do is break through the brainwashing. It's coming undone in a big way for him, I think. That's it. Bye.